Hello, dear students. I am Zalina Satılganova. Today I will explain to you what are regular and irregular verbs. I will also tell you about their past simple forms. Let's begin our lesson. The past simple is the most common way of talking about past events or states which have finished. It is often used with past time references such as yesterday, 2 years ago, last weekend. To form the past simple, we add the ending ed to the end of regular verbs. What about irregular verbs? There are no clear rules about the endings of past simple of irregular verbs. When we talk about past, we talk about past events or states. A past event could be one thing that happened in the past or a repeated thing. For example, we played tennis every day in August. A state is a situation without an action happening. For example, we stayed at my grandparents' house last summer. How do you form the past simple of regular verbs? Regular past simple forms are formed by adding ed to the infinitive of the verb in positive sentences. For example, the verb start will be started in the past simple. For example, I started work at 8 a.m. yesterday. It means 8 o'clock in the morning. And the verb call will be called in past simple. For example, I called you at 8 a.m. yesterday. Again, 8 a.m. is 8 o'clock in the morning. It is very easy, isn't it? However, there are some spelling rules. If a verb ends in e, you add d. Look at these verbs: agree, like, and escape. Agree in past simple will be agreed. We just add the ending d. Like will be liked. Escape will be escaped. The second rule says if a verb ends in a vowel and a consonant, the consonant is usually doubled before ed. Let's take two verbs, stop and plan. Stop in past simple will be stopped. As you can see, the consonant p is doubled before the ending ed. And plan will be planned in past simple. The third rule says if a verb ends in a consonant and y, you take off the y and add ied. For example, try and carry end in y, right? So try will be tried in past simple and carry will be carried in past simple. And the last rule says if the word ends in a vowel and y, you add ed. For example, play and enjoy both end in y. In this case, play will be played in past simple and enjoy will be enjoyed. We just add ed to the end of these two verbs. Let us check what you have learned so far. Here there are 12 regular verbs. Your task is to write the ending ed or the past simple form of these regular verbs. The first verb is play. In past simple, it will be played. Now it's your turn. Please do this exercise. Now, children, let's check your answers. Do you have the same answers? Very good. Here we have three structures. How to form questions and negative sentences. Structure number 1 says, in order to make up a yes-no question, we need to put did in the first position, and then subject, and then verb in infinitive form and object. If we want to ask a question with a question word, we put question word and then auxiliary verb do in past simple. It will be did plus subject plus verb in infinitive and object. And the third structure is about making up a negative sentence. Subject plus did plus not, and then verb in infinitive and then object. Let's look at some examples. Here is a question without a question word. Did you call me yesterday? Did you call me yesterday? And you can say the same sentence with all the pronouns. Did he call me yesterday? Did she call me yesterday? Did they call me yesterday? And what can be the answers to this question? Yes, I did. Or yes, you did. He did. She did. We did. Or they did. And it might be that your answer is no. In this case, you will say, no, I didn't. Or you didn't. He didn't. She didn't. We didn't. They didn't. You can also say the full sentence. For example, no, I didn't call you yesterday. No, he didn't call you yesterday. No, she didn't call you yesterday. No, we didn't call you yesterday. No, they didn't call you yesterday. It will be the formula number 3. If we want to ask a question with a question word, follow the following formula. What are the question words? What, when, why, how, and where. For example, I want to ask a question with the verb want. What did he want from you? Or what did she want from you? What did we want from you? A question with the question word when will be, when did you call me? When did he call me? When did she call me? When did they call me? And with why, we have the following sentence. Why did you ask this question? Why did he ask this question? Why did she ask this question? Why did we ask this question? Why did they ask this question? With how did you check our mistakes? How did he check our mistakes? How did she check our mistakes? How did they check our mistakes? And the last example with the question where will be, where did she invite you last weekend? Where did they invite you last weekend? Now it's time to practice what you have learned and understood. Here there are 9 sentences. Please make up questions using the words in brackets. For example, the first sentence has 2 words in the brackets. You play. Here we can make up a question without question word. For example, did you play any sport yesterday? So your task is to do the rest of the sentences. Now let's check your answers together. So, sentence number 2 will be, where did you go last weekend? 3. Did you speak to your friends yesterday? What time did you go to bed last night? Did you clean your house yesterday? Did you visit your relatives last weekend? Did you buy anything special last month? How many times did you swim in a lake last summer? And the last one, why did you begin learning English? Do you have the same answers? Very good, students. I prepared a short video for you where you will listen to a short conversation between two friends, Ollie and Alfie. Very interesting story happened to Alfie. Please pay attention how these two friends use past simple forms of regular verbs in their conversation. But before watching the video, please pay attention to some vocabulary you will meet in the video. To fail means to leave something undone, be unable. To pass driving test, for example, to go successfully through driving test. To be in shock means to have an unpleasant or disappointing surprise. To appear means to come into sight or view. Antonyms of this word will be disappear, go away, or vanish. To carry on with something means to continue to go on. To come over means to come across. To cross the road means to go across the street, to pass the road. To hit means to strike or to kill. To arrive means to come or to get in. To escape from somewhere means to run or to run away or to flee. To agree means to accept, to admit, or to say yes. Zebra crossing is a pedestrian crossing. Driving test, тест по вождению. Owner of something means master or host. Fault means error or guilt. Mate is a partner or a friend. Driving instructor is the person teaching you driving a car. Traffic light is stoplight or traffic signal. Totally means completely or 100% or entirely. From anywhere is ниоткуда. Poor, бедный. In this video you will hear poor you, which will mean бедненький. Now you are ready to watch the video. Let's start watching it.
So how did it go? Did you pass?
No, I failed. Again.
I don't believe it. How did you fail again? What happened this time?
You won't believe it.
No. No way, Alfie. Not the same as last time.
Yep.
No way! Not another cat?
I know. I'm in shock. I love cats.
So what happened?
Well, I stopped at a zebra crossing to let an old man cross the road. No problem there. He walked across the road, so I started to drive. Just then a cat appeared from nowhere.
Did you hit it?
I did. It was impossible to stop.
I don't believe you, Alfie. You're joking, aren't you? You didn't fail, did you? Nobody can kill two cats on 2 driving tests.
What can I say? I know. It's totally crazy. The owner of the cat arrived.
Oh, no. And?
Well, he said it wasn't my fault. The cat escaped from the garden. The driving instructor agreed too, so we carried on with the test. But I was too nervous and I crossed a red traffic light.
Poor you, mate. Do you want to come over?
Yeah. Okay. See you in 5 minutes.
Was the story interesting? Was everything understandable to you? Here are 7 sentences, and your task is to write the past simple form of the verbs in brackets. Now check your answers. The first sentence will be: the cat escaped from the garden. Number 2, the driving instructor agreed that it was not my fault. 3, I stopped at a zebra crossing to let an old man cross the road. Number 4, tell me what happened. 5, Alfie was nervous and crossed a red traffic light. 6, they carried on with the test. And the last one, Alfie failed his driving test again. Do you have the same answers? Very good, students. I think it is enough information about regular verbs and their past simple forms. Now let's move on to irregular verbs and their past simple forms. As I mentioned before, there are no clear rules about forming the past simple forms of irregular verbs. You just have to learn them. There are about 200 irregular verbs in English. It seems to be very confusing, isn't it? I recommend you to divide these irregular verbs into 4 types. The first type are verbs which have the same base form, past simple and past participle form. The second type are the verbs which have the same past simple and past participle forms. Type number 3 are the verbs which have the same base form and past participle. And the fourth type of verbs are which have a different base form, past simple and past participle form. Now let's look at the first type of irregular verbs. As we remember, these are the verbs which have the same base form, past simple and past participle. For example, cost will be cost in past simple and cost in past participle. Cut, cut, cut. Hurt will be hurt in past simple and hurt in past participle. Let's have an example with this irregular verb. Pasha, please try to guess what will be the past form of hurt. Correct. Hurt himself in a soccer match last weekend. Let will be let in past simple and let in past participle. The next word is put. It will be put in past simple and put in past participle. Let's have an example. I put the book on your desk. Here is the second type of the verbs which have the same past simple and past participle. For example, bring, brought, brought. Buy, bought, bought. Have, had, had. Let's have an example with this verb have in past simple. They had lunch at a Thai restaurant on Monday. Leave will be left in past simple and left in past participle. Make, made, made. Read, read, read. As you noticed, the spelling is the same, but pronunciation is different in the base form, in the past simple, and in past participle. Tell, told, told. Win will be won in past simple. Let's have an example with this word. Try to guess which verb should I put here in this sentence? Correct. I need won in this case. Who won the basketball match? The Giants. And the third type of the verbs have same base form and past participle form. These are come, become, and run. Come will be came in past simple, come in past participle. As you noticed, the base form and the past participle form are similar. Become will be became in past simple and become in past participle. Run, ran, run. Let's have some examples. He came back home at 4 a.m. on Saturday. Here is the sentence. Try to guess which verb should I put in this case. Miriam became the managing director of Megacom. Correct. And the last sentence is with the verb run. The dog ran into the garden after Marat opened the door. And the last type of irregular verbs is a different base form, past simple and past participle. For example, the verb be is an irregular verb. In past simple, it will be was for singular form and were for plural. In past participle, it will be been. Drive in past simple will be drove. Let's have an example with this verb. They drove to the airport and left their car there. The next one is eat. In past simple, it will be ate. For example, the kids ate a lot of cakes at the party. Go will be went in past simple. Take will be took. Let's have an example with this verb. She took her tickets yesterday. Write will be wrote. Now it's time to practice a little bit. In this exercise, you have to ask questions for the underlined words. Let's look at the first sentence. We went to the gym yesterday. We need to ask question for the underlined words to the gym. We went where yesterday? The question word will be where. Infinitive form of the verb went is go. So let's make up a question. Where did we go yesterday? Please do the rest of the sentences yourself. Are you ready to check your answers? Let's do it together. So, sentence number 2. Rustam was the winner of our school competition last year. We have to ask a question for the underlined word Rustam. Rustam will be who was the winner of your school competition last year. Sentence number 3. They bought 2 presents yesterday. How many presents did they buy yesterday? Sentence number 4. Maksat told me a funny story last week. What did Maksat tell me last week? And the last one. They were at the theater last month. When were they at the theater? Do you have the same answers? Very good, students. Well, students, did you learn a lot today? Was the lesson helpful to you? I hope your answer is yes. I wish you all the best. Stay healthy. Goodbye.